Hey guys, this is my 97 Chevy Cavalier um, with a 3.4 liter V6 motor swap and a remote mount turbo setup on it. It's taken me a couple years to complete this setup. It's finally done and it's running better than expected. Um, just want to give you guys a view of the car here. The the front part of the bumper on the bottom is missing because I hit a bumped into a dirt pile a couple years ago, and so I built this custom um, kind of bump stop so that when I'm pulling up the curbs and whatever, um, this is basically my stop to let me know that I'm there before I do any damage to the car. Also, I wanted to build this in case I couldn't dodge anything on the road because the car's lowered, that this would take the brunt of the impact um, before it did any damage to the radiator or the charge pipes or the oil pan or anything like that. So here in the back, you can see that I have the turbo with an external wastegate. It's a 44 millimeter wastegate. I wanted to get the biggest one as possible to um, just control the boost as best as possible, considering it's a higher displacement motor. Um, the turbo is a T3 T4 hybrid, just your nothing special, ordinary turbo they put on 4 and 6 cylinders all day long. It's a CX Racing. Um, for anybody that's looking to get a CX Racing turbo, I'd highly recommend it. I've had very good luck with it. Absolutely zero problems. Further under, you can see I have my scavenge pump that pumps the oil back up to the front into the oil pan. This is a TurboWorks oil pump, and I've had very good luck with it, no problems. I initially had a Mocal diaphragm pump, but I read after buying it and doing further research on it, I found out that a lot of people didn't like it. And so I decided to go with this TurboWorks pump instead. It's a gear pump instead of a diaphragm, um, rated for very high temperatures, which obviously you will experience with having a turbo setup with the oil temperatures and whatnot. Um, I put adjustable KYB shocks on the back just for when I race it, which I have not actually raced it yet with the turbo on it, just to limit the amount of weight that gets transferred to the rear wheels on launch. You can crank these up and basically have it completely stiff so all the power gets put down on the front wheels. I have my oil filter tucked up behind the bumper with some just typical dryer duct work. I know it looks kind of cheesy, but it works very well. I've had good luck with it. So, before I show you under the hood, um, I'll show you what gauges I have. Basically, I personally think that having the A-pillar gauges is really, I guess everybody has that, and I like to be different. So I have my gauges mounted in the cluster. I have voltmeter on the left. I have a narrow band air fuel ratio. I have temperature, engine temperature, and then oil pressure. I also have a boost gauge and a wideband AFR, and then my tach. I'm looking into getting a different wideband. This is a glow shift wideband. I've had really good luck with it. However, it does not offer a 5-volt output for tuning software, and so I cannot log AFR, which is very important for having a turbo setup. So basically, I'm looking into getting a new one. Let me show you something else here. Um, Basically, I've gotten a lot of criticism on where I ran my charge pipe, just because I didn't have a lot of room underneath the car to do it. So I ran it inside, and I've had very good luck with it, no problems. It may not look as good as most people want it to, but however, this is my car and not yours, so I like it. I've had very good compliments on it because it's basically the pipe is bent um, to go along with the floor pan and take up minimal room. Um, as you can see, comes out of the back, bends down, goes under the passenger seat, comes up, and then goes through the firewall. Um, it underneath it bends underneath the axle and goes through the front out to the charge pipe. Comes around in the front here, goes across, and then goes up in the engine bay. I did have an intercooler on this at one point, but the intercooler, I got a cheaper version online, and I don't know if it was the turbulence inside the intercooler or the intercooler itself being too large, but I did not get the performance that I wanted out of, so I just completely took the intercooler out, and my IAT temperatures are still very, very low, not even for having an intercooler. So, but the pipe it comes up, um, I had to get rid of my windshield washer fluid tank, and I just have a gallon jug in here for now, so that I can wash the windows. But I have my blow off valve. I made these braces here out of steel conduit for like electrical plumbing, um, because I actually bent the radiator support racing it about 3 years ago. So I put these braces in, and it's helped out tremendously with just the flexing of the front end and whatnot. So, but I have the 3.5 liter GM motor intake on this. It's a bigger volume, obviously, than the 3.4 liter, but it does very, very well. There's some customization that you have to do. It's not very very much, but anybody that has done the swap, they can put this intake on really easily. And also, Millsy Motorsports. It's either Millsy Motorsports or 60degreev6.com offered a adapter plate for the 3500 intakes, as well as the 3400, where you can bolt this throttle body off of a 4-liter Aurora motor, the 4 liters, onto any intake that you want. Now, the good thing about using the 3500 intake with this throttle body is that there's no like boring of the actual inlet of the intake manifold. The 3400 motor, you will have to bore the intake to allow the throttle plate to open, because it's a much bigger throttle plate than the 3400. Um, the biggest thing that I noticed, I had this on here before I had it turbocharged. The biggest gain that I noticed was that it had a much better throttle response taking off, because you just swatted the gas and it wanted to go because it had much more airflow, and it allowed much more volume of air to enter the motor initially. So, but I have MSD, the 8.5 millimeter spark plugs on it. I have LS6 valve springs, and